let's talk about contamination. So we are making products that we want to be pure and unadulterated, which means uncontaminated. So unadulterated means not changed in any way negatively. So it is what it's supposed to be. And in order to do this, we need to take real care to make sure that we prevent contamination in our products, whether you're making food or drinks or anything like that. So we really want our products to be safe and of course of the right quality and legal and authentic. So if it's authentic, it is what it's supposed to be, and it's unadulterated. It hasn't been changed negatively. Good. So this is what we are trying to achieve in our products that we are making, because we really care about the consumer, and we don't want things like glass to be in the product. We don't want contamination to cause harm. And if we think about who that consumer is, who we're really caring about, it's you, it's me, it's our kids and our parents, it's our aunties and our uncles. So we really do care and we want to protect them. So let's prevent harm from occurring. Let's think further about contaminants. What are they really? They are hazards. So if you look at this picture here, we've got a virus in the picture. And we don't want viruses in the picture. We don't want any other microbes. We don't want glass. We don't want other physical contaminants. We don't want any contaminants or hazards at all in our product. So let's look closer at the 4 categories of hazards. These are typically microbiological or physical or chemical hazards or allergenic hazards. So things that are not supposed to be there. And these things can, of course, cause harm. So when we think about these 4 categories of hazards, they are risks to our products. They pose risk of causing harm. Where do these contaminants come from? What are the sources of these contaminants? There are lots of different sources of contaminants that we need to look out for. And if they are typically known as the 6 Ps. So we've got people, okay, that could be you and I contaminating the product. It could come in with the packaging. It could come in with the product, the ingredients. They could be contaminated when we receive them. So that's why we do our intake checks. It could come in with pests if we don't have the right pest control program in place. It could come from our premises if we don't maintain our premises. And of course, it could come in with equipment or plant. That the equipment could contaminate our product if we don't maintain it and clean it and inspect it properly. So those are the 6 Ps as sources of contamination. And you'll notice that for some of them, I was mentioning controls, particularly for these sources of contaminants. So I was saying your pest control program, for example, and maintaining your premises. And regarding people, of course, it's our rules that we've got in place for PPE, wearing our protective equipment, wearing our mob caps properly, wearing gloves if that's appropriate to your process. It's not wearing jewelry, it's things like that. It's inspecting the packaging when it comes into our business and covering the packaging properly when the packaging isn't in use. It's all those wonderful systems that we've got in place, and they are also called control measures that we've got in place. And so where does it all start? Of course it starts with HACCP. It always does. HACCP is a risk assessment tool that we talk about in more detail in a different talk. And it's a risk assessment process that will consider all those risks of contamination. And your HACCP team will have put in place control measures to mitigate those risks of contamination. And so those control measures are the things that we're doing day in, day out to protect our product, to make sure that it's safe, of the right quality, legal and authentic. And so I'd like to summarize here 3 main controls that we have, okay? And it's the systems that I've mentioned: effective cleaning, pest control programs, maintenance programs, hygiene rules, etc. All those wonderful things that we've got in place. Those are our systems that have been translated into procedures for you and I to follow. And so the next thing is additional controls that might be required at specific steps in your manufacturing process. And that kind of equipment could be things like metal detection or magnets, optical sorters, filters or sieves, things like that, that can further take out contamination from your product and make sure that your product is safe. And in addition to all of that, and one of the most valuable things that we appreciate is you. And so it's you looking after those systems and following those procedures and making sure that the equipment operates properly. And it's you taking care of that product ultimately to make sure that it's safe for the consumer. For further information or for further training, you can always visit our website where we've got additional training in place that we can offer you.